first video, I'm going to show you how you can take a sketch for an illustration, bring it into Photopea, and trace it using the pen tool. So you're going to be using your sketch as a template to draw. So I'm going to go to, first I got to open up a new document, so I'm going to go File, New, and I'm going to call this Template Pen Tool Drawing. That's just because it's for this demonstration, but if you're using this for your infographic, you could say that. We go inches. I'm going to go 8.5 by 11. And for this next project, you can go 11 by 8.5 or 8.5 by 11, so you could go vertical or horizontal, portrait or landscape. DPI, I'm going to make 300, so it's a good quality image. I'll say create. Okay, now I need to bring in my drawing. So I took a photo from my sketchbook, and then I emailed myself that photo, downloaded the photo from my email, and now I can bring it into Photopea. So I'm going to go File, Open in Place. I'm going to look in my downloads, and I find the page from the sketchbook. Okay, so I've brought in that sketchbook image, and now I'm going to create a new layer that I can draw with the pen tool on. So just place that there. Got a new layer here, and I've got these jelly beans here. So I'm going to pick a jelly bean. I had this poll for what were the favorite jelly beans in class. So I'm going to call this one coconut. Actually, let's go with grape this time. Grape jelly bean. And then I'm going to go to the pen tool over here on the toolbar. It's underneath the type tool. Looks like an old-fashioned pen nib. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now I'm zooming in just with my fingers on the trackpad, but there is a magnifying glass down here. If you go to the magnifying glass, you can zoom in or zoom out, and holding Alt on your keyboard will toggle between zoom in and zoom out. There's also this button up here, Fit the Area, which is kind of nice if you just want to go back and see the whole page. So I'm going to go to the pen tool, click and drag, going around the outside. Back to where I started. And then I'm going to choose the direct selection tool. Underneath the pen tool right there, you can see the direct selection tool is white arrow. Click on it and move it to fit the shape. Now sometimes drawing with with a fill can be a little distracting. This is the fill, this red color here. So if I want to get rid of the fill, I can even do this as I'm drawing. I can switch it to no fill, which is the X up here. And then it might help to fit it to the line a little bit better. Okay, so I want to get an idea of what the color is of a grape jelly bean. So I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to do a Google image search. Type in grape jelly bean. And so there's some nice shades of violet here. I'm going to go for the very first one, and I'm going to copy this image, and I'm going to bring it into Photopea. I'm zooming out here. Edit, paste. And then to find out what color purple this is, I can use the color picker over here on the left. It is, in this case, it's hidden underneath my crop tool. It's like 4 tools down from the top. So I go to the eyedropper tool, click, and if I zoom in, you can see down at the bottom of the toolbar, you can see the color purple changing as I click on different areas. So I'm going to go a little bit darker here. And then what I need to do is I need to figure out what shade of purple that is. So I double click on the swatch, and this is helpful. This is called the hexadecimal code here, and I can copy this right there, and then I can use that color to fill in the the vector shape that I just created. So I'm going to go back to my layer, the grape jelly bean, go back to the pen tool, come up here to where the fill is, double click on that, and I think I'd like to give this a gradient. So 3 buttons over is the gradient. I'm going to click on that, and then I double click on the gradient. I want this darker purple in here instead of the black. So I'm going to double click on that, and then where the hexadecimal code space is, I'm going to paste that code in. Oh, and if I didn't get it the last time, it's like it didn't copy. Got to go back, try that again. Copy that code, and see, okay. Back to here, back to this fill, gradient. Try that again. There we go. Now I've got that. Move this over, that looks pretty good. I say okay. I would like to use a radial gradient here, so I'm going to change it to radial. I can reverse the purple and white. And then you can change things like the scale to give it a little bit of shine. I can move it to the left or to the right. Move it up slightly. Maybe a little bigger on the scale. If that white feels a little bit too bright, I could even go back into my gradient here. Let's see if we can't get a slightly lighter shade of violet. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, so, oh, got rid of it. Come back, try that again. Perfect. Say okay, okay, good. That time it took. So I'm going to go to my Move tool, and here's my grape jelly bean, which I can use however I want. What I'd probably like to do is actually color in a couple of these different shapes, or use the vector tool, do a couple of shapes, so I have a few varieties of shapes for this grape jelly bean. But I'm going to want to repeat and multiply these, and I'll just show that real quick. If I go to Layer, duplicate the layer, I can make copies, and I have copies of this that I can use. And that's using your sketch as a template to draw with the pen tool.